And in business news, the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee is allocation to the federal government. 36 states and 774 local government areas increased by 23.56% to 10.14 trillion naira in 2023. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, Dr. Ogbonnaya Orji, revealed this in a report presented at FACT's quarterly review in Abuja. This is an increase of 1.9 trillion naira. That's 23.56% compared to 8.2 trillion naira shared in 2022. A breakdown shows that the federal government received 3.9 trillion naira, that's 39.39% of the total share, while 36 states received 3.5 trillion naira, making up 35.34%, and 774 local government areas of the country received 2.56 trillion naira, that's 25.28% of the total allocation. The review attributed the increase to improved revenue remittances to the Federation account due to the removal of petrol subsidy and the floating of the foreign exchange rate by the new administration. This is also to enhance knowledge and awareness, fostering public accountability in managing public finances. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mr. Mele Kyari, says the final investment destination on the Nigerian-Morocco gas pipeline project will take place in December 2024. Mr. Kyari said this during the leadership dialogue session at the ongoing CERAWeek conference in Houston, United States, tagged multidimensional energy transition, markets, climate, and technology and geopolitics. The group's CEO is also advocating for a different approach towards attaining energy transition for the African continent. Mr. Kyari said a differentiated approach became necessary as global economies continue to call for a transition to cleaner energy fuels. CERAWeek is one of the largest energy conferences in the world, and it attracts global energy industry experts and other corporates and government leaders from around the world annually to Houston, U.S. for a week-long conversation on the future of the energy market.
I'm quite struck by what you said. You can't just, I think the way you said it.
Now, there's an ongoing engagement and in a very advanced stage at a FEED level to create a pipeline that will pass through 13 African countries into Morocco, then jump into Europe. What that will do will create integration among the African countries, a number of countries that do have gas resources, so that collaboration will enable them have access to those pipelines. And our estimate is to see a $25 billion project, clear line of sight around financing for that project.
25 billion.
21 billion for that line. And then the alternate route is to pass through the center of our country all the way through the Sahara into Algeria, then into Europe. And the reason is very clear, quite is practical. We do not have issues around availability of the gas resources, so it's there. And of course, we also understand that maybe a little slower, but surely much cheaper process of transporting gas across.
Right.
The Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline is beyond planning. I think we hope to see FID by the end of the year.
Going to Kwara State, where Governor Abdulrazaq has flagged off a livestock productivity and resilience support project, which is $500 million food security program supported by the World Bank and federal government. Ibrahim Alege reports.
Livestock agriculture is about 5% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, constituting 17% of that of agriculture. Meat demand has increased as economic development grows in Nigeria. Animal grazing practices in Nigeria have equally changed due to population growth, urbanization, and changing agricultural practices. In Kwara State, north-central Nigeria, livestock agriculture is a popular practice among residents, and this is equally encouraged by the government. This explains why the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project is here being launched in Kwara State. It is a 6-year, $500 million food security program supported by the World Bank and the federal government of Nigeria. Flagging off the program, Governor Abdulrazaq says Kwara has a comparative advantage in all areas of livestock production, particularly beef and dairy production.
Indeed, the LPS objective is in line with our vision, uplifting the vulnerable, improving the activities of smallholder farmers, provide critical infrastructure for modern livestock production, and also mitigate against conflict between pastoralists and crop farmers.
For us in Kwara, we are focusing on how to align all our livestock projects as they are very dependent on each other. And that is what will enable us to deliver the most impact to Kwarans.
The visiting team is impressed with the commitment of the state government to the program.
And for that, we need your support. So the project will be here in Kwara, will be the best, the first, because they are already among the first. And since the investment is based on performance, maybe Kwara will receive also the biggest amount of financing at the beginning.
The objectives of the program are to improve productivity, commercialization, and resilience of targeted livestock value chain in Nigeria, as well as strengthening the resilience of livelihood affected by farmers-herders conflicts. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
Wrapping up business, the stock market has come down again in response to trade losses due to profit taken by investors. Effiong Gekop reports. We'll be back with sports news.
3 days consecutive trades in the lower territories depressed the stock market as shares prices dropped for market corrections. The trade index dipped by 0.28%, emphasizing losses on investments. The shares of First Bank Holdings were most affected by down prices as the stock lost nearly 5% in value. Manufacturing company Beja Paints, FCMB, Access Holdings, and ICO Insurance all closed deals in red. Marginal trade gainers included oil marketing firm Etana, Computer Warehouse Group, C&I Leasing, Keveton Aviation, and technology stock Jams. Outside Nigeria, many African exchanges traded in green. The stock market in Nairobi, Kenya, rose in volume of trades and market cap by 2% on the back of renewed interest in companies' equities. The JSE in South Africa equally enjoyed support from fund managers, especially those who played in the housing markets. Back in West Africa, the Ghana Stock Exchange recorded trade upsurge calculated at almost half of a percentage point. Investors' interest crossed banking and insurance securities. Effiong Gekop, TVC News, Lagos.